It is officially September, and that means we are in the worst month in crypto's history. But why you can use September to prepare for October, this is the most crucial time because there are going to be people who capitulate this month. There are going to be people who have no faith in this market, who think that, we just saw a 6% drop over the last week, over the 30 days. It's not been too great for the market. We're in a very choppy state. Those who sell their bags this month, I think, are going to be in a heap of trouble whenever they look back at the market in just a couple of months' time. I'm going to go over exactly why. I'm going to hit on some points that we talked about last show with Kyle, as well as the coins that I'm really dialed on right now that I think have some amazing updates going on in their ecosystem that I think are worth accumulation and putting on your watch list to buy and DCA into during the month of September so you can ride them up during the month of Uptober, as they say. So let's dive into it. Big shout out. Like the video down below. We're at 98K subscribers here on the channel. We could use your help. Like the video, subscribe down below, leave a comment, help us get in front of more bullish crypto gaming investors just like yourself on YouTube and help us push towards that 100K mark. As well, a big shout out to all of our sponsors here on In The Game. We have NordVPN, Moon Tropica, we have Unioverse, and we have OnMe. So you can check out all of those in the description down below, as well as all of our exchange partners. And if you haven't already, check out Nexus. It's actually the software product that I built. We use it on the show here every single day. We have a multi-chain portfolio tracker, launchpad access going live to the public here very soon. It's your all-in-one stop to be able to get in touch with the crypto markets. You can get a 7-day trial in the description as well down below. So let's just take a look. Obviously, the market is doing what September markets do. There's really nothing really showing much signs of life, and that's just how it is. If we take a look here, we see Land Wolf coming back from the dead a little bit, Honeyland, around that $10 million mark. But to be completely honest with you, a lot of these coins are just trying to keep afloat in a market that's just not too friendly right now. Liquidity's down. People are just getting back on Wall Street from their Hamptons vacations and starting to dial in. And let's just be honest. September is typically the most bearish month for crypto, literally rotating the majority of income made during the past month and this month into projects praying for Uptober. So TJR is a pretty good trader here, and he's saying that he's going to be rotating the majority of his income into the market during September due to the fact that we might be heading into Uptober. And if you guys missed the show on last Friday with Kyle, highly advise, after you're done watching this video, of course, go check that out. He was dropping absolute alpha about when we should expect the market to turn green, when the bull run should be going until, just everything that you need to know. But one thing he pointed out was these election cycles. And no, I'm not a serial killer. I use dark mode, but this computer, I don't use trading view on this main computer too much, so it is on light mode. I use dark mode. My phone, I use dark mode. I'm not a serial killer. I don't use light mode, okay? But as we can see here, the 2020 election. So we see during September a little bit of red once again last year, right? We went from, these are monthly charts because we're looking at a 5-year timeline, but we went from about 9,000 in 2019 down to about 8,200 on the low end of this candle. So pretty decent dip for that price point. But if we see this 2020 election, even with Biden winning, right? We all say Trump's more bullish for the markets, but really, typically speaking, I don't think one way or the other that, the market might be a little more aggressive if Trump gets in. But nonetheless, I don't think that either outcome really, none of them is going to kill the bull run. And if you were to look back at every single election cycle, and Kyle pointed this out, we have an indicator here on TradingView that shows the 2020 election here in November. And from the start of this candle, November 1st, we go from 13,000 to whenever Biden is in the office. We got up to 58,000 over here in March 2021. And really the setup looks pretty similar here. We're going into some red months here. I probably expect another red month here in September, but on a cyclical basis, no pun intended, the market does what the market does. Around economic shakeups, new elections, the market is usually stimulated around that time. The market typically does well around elections because they want to make sure that you're in a good mood, go to the polls and put your votes in, etc. So I see a market pump in October, November, probably December, heading into the beginning of the new year. I think that we're about to see some of the best price action across crypto and even altcoins that we've seen since, what month was this? Like February. Like this February candle where we went from 42 all the way to 60. I think we could start to see these types of candles. During that election period, we went from 20K to 28. And then on this top end candle from 45 to 58. I think we start to see some of these moves as we head into the back half of the year. And I've been mentioning how, projects in the gaming space right now are capitulating. And I think that this is actually very bullish. We're having our FTX, Celsius, Luna, BlockFi moment in crypto gaming. We had Army of Fortune, who was backed by Supercell. They went under. We have Dimensionals. They left. They went back to Web 2. And now we have SugarTown from Zynga. Zynga, infamously made Farmville. They sold their project. So, I'm so focused on Web3 builders. Like, gone are the days where you can come to me and say, I built Call of Duty, or I worked with Blizzard or Riot Games. That doesn't matter anymore. Like, the Parallel team has built one of the most successful crypto games of this cycle, and they would tell you straight up they had no experience in the game development world when they started the project. Like, I'm way more bullish on native Web3 builders than the people that are coming from Web 2 claiming that they've done this, this, and this. Well, then you wouldn't be in Web 3. Just to be completely honest with you, right? If that was working out so well for you, you probably would have stayed doing that, right? So I think that we have to stop harping so much on people's past experiences in this market, because so far with AOF, Dimensionals, and now SugarTown, and SugarTown is still here, but Zynga sold the company. So, these big companies are folding. And then ironically, we see the biggest one of all coming into the space was Sony. Sony's building their Sonium blockchain in collaboration with Chainlink and Optimism. And it's in testnet right now. So no surprise, 3 companies capitulate here and leave Web3 basically. But at the same time, we see the big dog of all, Sony, come through the door. And I think it also is important to note that these companies that have dipped their toes in the water, they're all fly by night. They're looking for exposure, right? Whenever's the last time we've heard of Zynga? Been a long time. Supercell, yeah, they built Clash of Clans, and definitely the people behind AOF were not actual Supercell. Like, they might have been from Supercell, but they did not have a key pivotal role in scaling Clash of Clans to like the biggest mobile game, which it became. So I'm done harping on past experiences. A little bit of a rant there, but I think it's ironic that these 3 companies leave and then Sony comes through the door and says, we're here and we're here to build. So very bullish on the gaming market heading forward. And I have to say, there's one token that I'm super isolated on right now that I just want more of. And we're going to keep it very simple, and it's Superverse. I have the liberty of hearing things, and as I tweeted, hearing things with the hashtag super here. But I'm very good friends with Elio and a lot of the people involved in this project, and I have to say, like, the things that they're doing, I've heard they've already onboarded like 30 plus games. The speculation is that either the token's going to be put into numerous different games. We might see a block. We don't really know the scale of all of this, but I know Elio wants super entrenched in everything that, is Web3 gaming. And I mean, the stuff that I'm hearing that's coming over the next 3 to 6 months, I think is going to have a very big impact on the price. And we'll get to the levels that we're at right now shortly. But I've been talking about Ton Station. And I also saw Rand talk about this morning. So look, guys, if you're not listening in the game, I front ran this alpha for months, right? Now it says brought to you by Superverse and Elio Trades. But we've been talking about Ton Station on this channel for probably 2 months, guys. So remember where you're getting this alpha, because I saw Rand talking about this morning. and I've been giving you guys this for quite a while. You can jump into 𝗏𝗏station and farm their upcoming token, and we've been doing this for months, so shout out to anyone who followed that alpha. And now they're collaborating with Superverse, and it seems like Super now has like an ownership interest in 𝗏𝗏station games, which I really like. Super knows very well how to get on your timeline, how to stay relevant in the attention sphere of crypto. And as we see here, like, you know, they're partnered up with WAGMI, Moon Tropica, Guild of Guardians, Nyan Heroes, Endless Clouds, Off the Grid, Shrapnel, Wilder World, 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗏. All of the biggest names in Web3 gaming are on Superverse. And you know, another one of my favorite open world projects, Wilder World, they're top 10 on the Epic Games most wish listed games globally. Now they have to remove a 0. So literally some of the best games in the entire Web3 gaming ecosystem are building alongside Superverse, which to me positions Super in a way that if you want exposure to Off the Grid, if you want secondhand exposure to a lot of these different projects without maybe dipping your toes deep into investing into a single game, I mean, Super is definitely a great bet in this market. Because look, like IMX, great conceptually, but to be honest, like the chain isn't the best functionality. It's not too quick. Just a lot of things wrong with the blockchain. Like Prime, I'm a big investor in Prime, but you're banking on one ecosystem, really, the parallel IP, which I believe in fully. But there's pros and cons to everything, right? So if I'm investing into infrastructure, it's Super, it's Ronin, and it's Beam, and that's the 3 top high levels. But right now for Super, 66 cents, we're sitting at about 320 million on the market cap. So for me, like, I think that this could 10x from this price point. I wouldn't be surprised to see $5 plus in the peak of the bull, multi-billion-dollar market cap here for a lot of the things that I'm hearing. And just like Off the Grid hits, Super's probably going to run. If 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗏 is a big hit come the bull, this is probably going to run alongside of it. So you're getting exposure, not even to just games. The difference between this and like infrastructures, for Ronin, like you're betting on more games coming to the chain. You're betting on Axie, you're betting on Pixels, etc. For IMX, you're kind of betting on like Illuvium. But with Superverse, you're betting on a plethora of games that might be building on various chains, but it all comes together with this ecosystem and this token that's going to be integrated across all of these common ecosystems. So to me, Superverse is my #1 DCA at this point in time, considering everything that I am hearing in the background. And honestly, if you're going to be investing in single game tokens, I would be looking at Prime under $7. Granted, we're at $6.96. I think this month we could see some alts take even more of a hit, guys. Like September is a brutal month in the markets, and I would not count out going lower from here. So keep some stables on the side and be ready to deploy. But right now, I would most be looking at Super, Ronin, and Beam, and then probably Prime and Wilder World as far as my DCAs. And as we see here, like Off the Grid, like these games, they're legitimately coming across the board right now, and they're not going away. We see Off the Grid here, 32,000 hexes decoded over this last playtest weekend. A little bit of a decline from the past 2 weekends, but I think what's important to note, it was a holiday weekend here in the US. I wasn't able to jump in. I didn't have time this weekend, right? So imagine when 1 million players are using AVAX via Off the Grid. And I agree. I think Avalanche is also, my Avalanche pillow back there would tell you, I think it's a great accumulation at this point in time. And, you know, to go back to the Superverse 𝗏𝗏station games, this is the type of stuff as well you can spend September doing. There is no point in sitting around and waiting on the market every day, staring at the charts, like, when is this thing going to move? It's like the meme, poke, poke, do something. Like, it's like the guy with the stick. He's like poking something, and it's not moving, right? And that's the market right now. I don't think we're going to see this major upside move until we head into October, November, closer to the election cycle, and the charts would tell us the exact same thing. Like, going back, the Obama administration, there was a pump. Trump, there was a pump. And then we see Biden, and there was a pump here as well. And people, you know, deem Biden bearish for the markets, right? So I don't really think it has this crazy impact like people are saying. I think it's going to pump regardless heading into the election season, just because markets are going to be stimulated to kind of drive up people's mood and their willingness to go to the polls. But what you can do, let's say you're out of stables or you don't want to take on any more risk because you think, we're going to go lower. You want to save up those stables. Start farming. You have until next month on Ton Station Games. Super Champs Season 1 ends on September 18th, and then we're heading into Season 2. And I mean, they're starting to push more content, and I really love it. We see the character here with the pit vipers, and Elon tweets a link, and it says, "This is not a scam.xyz." So the Normie to Degen series, they have just begun. So their content is top notch. The rewards program, I think, is going to be one of the most lucrative gaming airdrops of Q4, without a doubt. And that's the thing, is we've been giving you guys Ton Station, Super Champs, GOAT Gaming, Rumble Kong League, Infinigods for months. And this is the time, if you have not jumped in, September might be one of your last chances where you actually have some time, because the market's going to get frothy heading into the holiday season. You might have to be traveling to see your mother-in-law, whatever the case is. You might not want to go see your mother-in-law, but that's probably what you're going to be doing around these holidays. I don't have to deal with all that, but I do think it's important that you can spend your time in some of these ecosystems that can have ROI later on during these times when the markets aren't as hectic and potentially your life isn't as hectic heading into the holiday season, let's just say, because I think we're going to get pretty frothy heading into the end of the year. And that's really the underlying message. And I agree with what TGR said at the beginning of this show, is September is typically very bearish. But I'm unloading a lot into the market this month with the understanding that history doesn't always repeat itself, but it usually rhymes. In the last 3 election cycles, Bitcoin has pumped around that time period. I would bet that this 4th time around, we have the exact same thing. And if you're looking for a new airdrop program to get involved with, you can check out Dark Times. Dark Times is launching here pretty soon with their Dark token. They partnered up with Portal today. They have their Runes journey going live, I think, today as well. And then they have the Anime Part 1 official premiere, which went live today as well. So a lot of creatives going out for this ecosystem. And then I know Seedify and Seed World. Seed World is launching soon. And I just think Seed World is going to crush it. You can get involved with the NFTs. You can burn the NFTs to get allocation into this. And we're also likely to do a launchpad around here for Nexus to get involved with Seed World. So that is one that's coming up as well. And I think that's going to be a big success for anyone that does get involved. And then in the meme coin space, not a lot to talk about, just because most memes are getting crushed right now because of the market. If we take a look, let me go back to my watch list over here, and let's head over to memes. All right. We look at the 30 days. Nairo's dead, 74% down. Landwolf probably dead, 73%. 71% down on Billy. Even Tron Bull, this one that Crash really likes, it's down 40% this month, Mog down 20%, Brett only down 5%. That's bullish. If I was consolidating my meme bets down, I would go Brett, Mog. And I think Sundog is showing it's here to stay. They just listed on KuCoin today. I tweeted about this. I think Sundog is going to be the survivor of this blockchain and probably becomes the Brett with Pepe sort of kind of character and figure for the meme narrative on Tron. So not a lot in the meme coin sector today, just because most memes are literally, we're finding out which ones are built for this. Who's cut out to actually be a big meme this cycle. We're seeing it play out right now. And these ones that are down 70, 60%, I would probably be cutting these out of your portfolio, and I would focus on the ones that are showing a little more strength. To me, my long-term plays, Brett, and I'm looking at Mog. I think those are 2 no-brainers for this cycle. But honestly, I think Sundog has more upside. I still like Foxy. I like Ponky. But you're definitely catching falling knives right now with those 2, just because we don't know when they're going to have relief. We don't know exactly when the market's going to turn around. But I have a pretty good idea that it's going to be in October. So that's the way I'm looking at the market right now. And look, we're not playing the game for tomorrow. So many people in crypto get shaken out because of false timelines. Why would you sell your crypto now, knowing where we're at in the cycle? We are probably 8 to 12 months away from the top of the market. 8 to 12 months. History would tell us that that's the timeline that we're on. Now is not the time to be capitulating, selling your bags, leaving the industry. Like this is not the time. You have to look at the timeline and see exactly where we are in the cycle. And I just don't understand the FUD and the negativity that we see on crypto Twitter. For me, this is opportunity. When there's red in the market, this is the time. It's elementary. Like, history repeats itself typically, and we're probably going to see a pump around election season. September is generally bearish. So how is people's mentality so negative when the playbook is already laid out in front of us and it's occurred 3 election cycles in a row? So to me, don't panic. The left side of this thumbnail is red, but I think we're about to trend into the green heading into next month. And it might be a treacherous month. It might not be easy to stomach some of the things that we see this month. But to be honest, I think it's all going to be worth it once we hit that election season this year. And we probably see a big relief during Uptober. So guys, leave your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe, help us towards that 100K. If we can hit 100K before the end of September, I mean, that would be a heck of a milestone, and we couldn't do it without every single one of you tuning in to all of the shows, grabbing all the alpha, and putting it to work in these markets. So guys, I'll see y'all on the next one. I'll probably have another show tomorrow for you. As always, have a great rest of your day, and play well, my friends.